Hey guys, what's going on? It is Des here and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be getting into episode 3 of our Ultimate Beginner's Guide for Elder Scrolls Online. So I hope you're looking forward to it. We're going to be touching on getting to your first main city, going through crafting, and obviously a couple of other little bits and pieces along the way. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so as you can see here, we have gotten into Uridon just after we finished Kanathi's Roost. I've gone through and I have done a bit of work in Kanathi's Roost, and we've gotten that done. So one of the things I want to touch on straight away, which we haven't touched on yet, is horse training. So obviously you can unlock having mounts in the game. If you you can come over here to the stable master here in Uridon. And what you can do is you can, from here, whoops, sorry, camera went a bit funny for a minute. You can go to the stable here. You can buy a horse if you don't have one already. I already have mounts unlocked on my account, so I don't need to worry about buying one. But the really important thing here is the riding trainer. So now when you unlock getting a mount, which happens once you buy one, you can take riding lessons to improve different aspects of your horse riding to make it more effective. So one riding lesson will be offered to the stable master each day after daily reset. Now, if you're playing in Australia, that's at around 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And basically, yeah, you can, every day you can... for a small fee of gold, you can upgrade your riding skill. So what I'd recommend is, as a new player coming into this, and once you've gotten to a location where you have a riding trainer, every main city should have a riding trainer, and then a lot of the smaller cities will have them as well, is come in here, come to your riding trainer and get up your riding skill. Now, obviously, there's a couple of different options you can have here. You can upgrade your speed, you can upgrade your stamina or your carry capacity. I'm going to go with speed for now, and it's 250 gold. It's very easy, very straightforward, and as you can see, the riding skill has increased from 0 to 1, which is great, which is awesome. So that's one of the things I definitely recommend you should do first and foremost when you come into a main city. So now the next thing I want to do is I want to go through crafting. Now what we'll do, I don't know what was going on there. What we'll do is we'll go over to the crafting area. So if you open up your map, generally what you will find is in a main city, you'll find crafting stations either by an icon. If you hover over them, it'll give you an indication of what it is. But usually you want to find this like anvil sort of forge sort of looking icon, and that'll give you an indication of where you need to go for all your crafting. So what we'll do is we'll approach there. There are actually a couple of quests you can do to help get you started in crafting. So we'll go through those, and that should give us a good idea as to what we need to do with crafting in ESO. Now, if you are crafting in ESO as well, obviously what you're going to need is, oh look, lore book. Awesome, wonderful, we got a lore book along the way. So obviously when it comes to crafting, if you're going to be crafting in ESO, what you're going to probably want to be doing is farming for materials as well. So that usually what it means is every time you're going out and you're exploring the overworld, you want to come across things like this here, and you want to collect them. You want to collect as many resources as you can, because that's one of the biggest challenges. Pardon me. That's one of the biggest challenges you're going to face as a new crafter to the game, is having the resources available to craft items. Another thing I want to do as well is we'll touch on it as well, is deconstructing your unused items. You can obviously sell any unused items you come across, but I'll show you a method that I find works really effective for me, and we'll go from there. So here is the crafting center in Uridon, and what you will notice, and in all major cities generally what you'll find is there will be a crafting quest if you haven't done it already. So what I can see, and I already know where it is there is a set of crafting quests here, and there's another set over there. So let's go over to this one first. These are consumable crafting writs. All right, so what we will do is we will examine this. You notice a prominent handbill on the requisition board. Kreen Iren bids you welcome. Masters of the craft await you in Vocal Guard. New crafters shall be trained. Accomplished crafters will be certified. All at no cost to you. Read the fine print. Unskilled crafters will be certified after a brief training. Skilled crafters will be certified immediately. The masters shall charge no fee for certification. Certification is mandatory to refill crafting writs. And we'll touch on crafting writs again a little bit later on. So let's continue reading. Interested parties should seek out Millineth for blacksmith, clother, and woodworker certification. Speak to Danelle Talino for provisioner, enchanter, and alchemist certification. So let's take that handbill, and we're going to go and we're going to find, let's go and find Danelle. So I'm pretty sure Danelle is over here in the Mages Guild. So we'll do the certifications for the consumable crafting styles, and then then there's the, let's open up the quest and make sure I get it right. There's the consumable crafting, or there is the equipment crafting. Now, you can, when it comes to crafting, you can specialize in whatever you like. I like to do all of it. I love all the crafting, so I do all of it. But it's not to say that you need to do crafting to enjoy this game. You can do as little or as much as you like, really. So don't ever feel overwhelmed by the amount that you can do. You can just choose to focus on one for the time being, and you can come back and master the other ones later on. There's no right or wrong way to approach crafting in the game. So let's go and see Danelle, and we'll get started on the consumable crafting. Danelle should just be over here. Here is Danelle.
You must be here to learn the craft, yes? Your alliance covers my considerable fees, allowing me to impart my knowledge at no cost to you. If you prove yourself, I'll certify you as competent to fulfill crafting writs.
Yes, I saw a notice. How do the crafting writs work?
Crafting writs are daily requests for crafted goods. You must be a certified crafter to fulfill them. Prove you know what you're doing, and I'll certify them.
All right, tell me what you can certify.
I'm authorized to train and certify provisioners, alchemists, and enchanters. If this interests you, we should begin immediately.
Okay, wonderful. So now there's an important thing there that I want to touch on quickly. So basically there is a thing called daily writs. And now these are daily repeatable quests that you can do for crafting to gain experience and rewards. And in order to do these daily writs, you need to be certified in the said crafting skill that is associated with the writs. There are writs for all of the major crafting, or all of the crafting skill lines. You just need to be certified in order to do them. And being certified, this certification process is essentially a way of a means of a tutorial for you to learn that crafting discipline. Okay? So what we'll do is we'll go, I am ready for certification.
Good.
We'll complete the quest.
There is much more I can teach you. What else do you hope to learn from me?
What can you tell me about the provisioning certification?
A provisioner condenses the essence of ingredients into food or drink. A true artist balances palate with nutrition. I can share this noble profession, but I can only certify one craft at a time. Understood?
I want to be certified as a provisioner. Now, provisioners are vital. They're vital to endgame, essentially. What food and drink does in the game is it gives you long-term buffs to your magicka, to your stamina, to your to health, to your magicka recovery, stamina recovery, health recovery, all those sorts of things. There's a whole pile of other things that food can do, but they're very important, especially when it comes to end game. If you're working towards your end game builds, it's very important to either have the ability to craft provisioning recipes or know someone who can craft recipes. Or, I mean, you can buy what you need off the guild traders. There's that option as well. But food and drink is very much a very important part to your end game build. So with that in mind, let's go through and we'll get certified as a provisioner.
Provisioning is a... Yes, I hope you don't think it beneath you. As bards learn lyrics before singing them, provisioners must work from recipes. A recipe specifies volume, proportion, and preparation time. Understanding these principles is key.
And that's the thing. In order to craft provisioning like food or drink, you need to know the recipe for said food or drink item in order to craft it. So what you will do is you will come across in your journeys, you will come across vendors in your main cities that are chefs or brewers, and they will sell beginner recipes for you. And that's a good way to build up a lot of your recipes. But you will also find recipes in the overworld when you loot chests, when you loot urns or other items or other containers in the game, when you defeat bosses, when you complete quests. There's so many ways that you can come across recipes, and there's hundreds of recipes to find. I know because I'm currently working on collecting all of them on my main crafter account. So there are a lot of different recipes that do a lot of different things for a lot of different levels. So if you come across recipes and you don't know them, it's worth learning them. So that way, if you want to approach provisioning at some stage, you've got a collection of recipes that you already know. So where shall I find a recipe?
I keep an old rival's recipe nearby. Go, find and memorize it. Return to me when you have done so.
Where else can I find recipes?
Provisioners are quite secretive, but all is fair in brews and stews. Some provisioners hide recipes in old drawers or shelves, thinking themselves clever. Better to memorize the recipe. Then others cannot possibly learn your secrets.
Is there anywhere I can purchase recipes?
Should coin be of no issue to, guilds often sell such items in their guild stores. You may also trade with an ally if they have any excess.
Okay, good to know. All right, now let's find said recipe nearby. Let's go crafting. Let's make sure that we select it. Learn recipe for roast pig. Now, as we can see, it is just over here in the Mages Guild, so that makes life a lot easier. And there we go. We've collected the roast pig recipe, so now we can press I to open our inventory. And then there we go. We've got the roast pig recipe there. And it gives you an indication of what the recipe will do once you craft it. It'll tell you what ingredients you need, as well as what skills are required in order to use and learn the recipe. Because obviously there are some skills, some recipes out there that require certain skill levels in order to use them. So keep that in mind as well. So let's press E to learn this recipe. And we've got it there. Fantastic. Let's go back over to Denel.
Roast pig is an easy recipe to learn, but difficult to master.
I had a successful hunt. What is my next step?
Now, the moment of truth. Go to a cooking pot with your ingredients and follow the recipe. Return to me with the results, so your worth as a cook may be judged.
If I run out of ingredients, where can I find more?
Barrels, sacks of grain, kitchens, of course. It's food, it's simply around. Find what you need and take it.
Is there anywhere I can purchase ingredients?
Should coin be of no issue to
Ah. All right. So now we need to use a cooking fire. So let's go and find a cooking fire. Let's go and learn to craft our recipe. Because I already have some pork on hand, I don't have that issue. Now, I'm pretty sure that when you take the quest, he provides those items to you. So you shouldn't have an issue in terms of finding the components you need in order to craft the first recipe. Obviously, yeah, as you're going through the overworld, you're going to want to search barrels, search sacks, search baskets, search containers, search all sorts of items, kill birds. Like, there's a chicken there I could kill, but I'm sure someone owns it. That could be a disastrous thing to do. But killing chickens or bears or cattle or anything out in the overworld will grant you some materials. Now, when it comes to getting your beginner crafting recipes, you can always find a chef, and you can usually find them in your local inn in town. So obviously we've come here to the inn in order to use the fireplace to cook. There's Danelle as well, so he's come with us. But there's a chef here, Hizala. So if you talk to Hizala and you go to the chef, not only is he going to have some things here, like food that you can already buy, but he's going to have recipes here that you can buy off him to learn too. So there's that option for you as well if you want to learn more recipes. So let's go over to the cooking fire. Actually, one moment. Let me just go to my add-ons because I think I need to turn off some crafting ones. Reload UI, because I think that's it. I just want to make sure that I'm giving you guys the correct UI that you're going to find when you come to these, because you're not necessarily going to have the add-ons that I have. Again, add-ons are completely optional. You don't necessarily need to have add-ons in order to enjoy the game. What I will do is in a very future episode is we'll cover add-ons and how you can go about installing add-ons to improve your experience in ESO. Now let's hope that was the add-on. Fantastic. All right, another thing that you need to know. We touched on fishing in our last episode. And fishing is important because you can get fish fillets from filleting the fish. And that's what it's talking about here. To obtain provisioning ingredients from non-trophy fish, you must first fillet them. Collect non-trophy fish, such as slaughterfish, for example, and click on them to assign them to a fillet slot. You can press R to fillet and press X to clear your section. Remember, you have filleted some fish. Once you have filleted some fish, select food or drinks icon to craft them using fish items. So this is where you can come to fillet fish if you need to. Obviously, we don't have that at the moment. We don't need to worry about that, which is fine. We've got obviously here, we've got food, drinks, and furnishings. We'll talk about furnishings in another episode, but obviously provisioning recipes are broken up into food and drink. Technically, they're actually broken up into even further categories, but to keep things simple, there's food and drink. Generally, though, food will give you buffs to increase your max health, max magicka, max stamina, whereas drinks tend to increase the recovery of your magicka, stamina, or health. Okay, so let's go. We're here to craft, and as you can see on the left-hand side, we've got a crafting quest that pops up on the left-hand side. We've got provisioner certification, craft roast pig. All right, so we've learnt that recipe that we got earlier. So let's click on food, and here you can select cook or brew, and then choose an item or the items you wish to prepare, and then press R to craft the item. Remember, you can only craft food or drink if you learn the associated recipe and you have the proper ingredients for the item. So it's very important. So let's go to our meat dishes, which is one of the subcategories in the food category, and we want to go roast pig. So there we go. We've selected roast pig. As you can tell, I've got a lot of white meat, so I can make heaps of it. But basically what you want to do here is you can choose the quantity of how many you want to craft. We're just going to craft one for now, and then we're just going to press R. There we go. We've crafted one. Now we can go out by pressing Alt, and we can speak to Danelle to Leno to hand him in
Bring me your
the recipe.
creation so I might inspect it. I'll determine whether or not you deserve certification.
It's right here. Eat up.
Interesting scent. Do I detect a hint of Wamasu? No, that can't be right. Not how I do it, of course, but interesting enough to pass certification. You may now fulfill provisioning rates. Keep your pots warm and your ladle clean.
And there we go. We receive inspiration, which goes towards our skill improvement, and we get some cooking supplies. So let's complete the quest.
Your command of the crafts is impressive, but not yet
There we
in
go.
totality. I am still capable of instructing you.
Okay, let's just hold off with him for the moment, and let's open up our cooking supplies. Now, you'll get just probably, chances are what you'll get is what I've gotten, which is a couple of recipes that'll help you get started. And then that's it for provisioning, really. What that'll do is, let's just grab these while we're here. Let's learn them. Okay, we learned that, we've learned that. Wonderful. It's fantastic. So happy with it. Let's go and let's go. I'm just going to go close my chat down, and let's press K to open up our skills. And now you can see we've got a crafting section that is opened up for us now, and we've got the provisioning one. Now, these are going to be really important for you as you level. This is what's going to restrict you when it comes to crafting food for your level, if that makes sense. So the top two passive abilities are what well really the main one is going to be the one that's important. So what you're going to have is there's going to be recipes that you can make up to a certain level, okay? There's going to be certain recipes that are in between a range of levels, if that makes sense. So because we've only got the base point in recipe improvement, we can only craft recipes up to level 19. We can upgrade that that skill by putting a point in it, which we can get when we get to provisioning rank 20, and we can upgrade that to go to the next level bracket. So if you are crafting as you are exploring and as you are questing, it's going to be important that you continue crafting, particularly with consumable crafting. You're going to want to craft items in order to build up your skill level, and the more you craft and the more you build up your skill level, you're going to unlock the next set level of recipes, which is going to be important if you're going to want to use these items as you level. So obviously, right, I've learned how to use I've learned how to cook the roast pig, right? If I go to my consumable tab and I go to roast pig, I can see it increases my max health for 35 minutes. So if I want to be using that, right, I can use that now, and that's going to give me that benefit. So don't be afraid to use the recipes that you come across, right? Okay, so that's it when it comes to crafting. There's going to be other things in the skills that you can find. There's going to be benefits that you can have, like gourmand or connoisseur, that's going to increase the duration of that buff. But there's going to be also other benefits here that you can find as well, which I'll let you discover for yourself. But what you basically want to do is, the more you craft, the more your level increases, the more skills that you put into your skill line, the more recipes you're going to make, and then eventually you're going to be able to make endgame, later level crafting equipment. Right? So have a ball with it. Go around, find any of the recipes you can, loot any sort of barrel or container that you can find, and see what you can craft. There are so many great recipes in the game, and it's a very rewarding skill line. So I definitely suggest checking it out. But for now, let's speak to Danelle and let's see. Oh, that's Hizala. Let's speak to Danelle and let's get certified in alchemy.
Alchemists are masters of the elixir. They trap magic in a bottle for later use. But I can only certify you in one discipline at a time. If this is agreeable, we can begin your training.
Okay, so alchemists can create potions and poisons, essentially. Okay, so potions and poisons can do any number of sort of effects. They can increase your stamina, they can increase your magicka, they can increase your health, they can increase your spell damage, weapon damage, can make you invisible. There's all sorts of different things that these potions can do. And again, they're going to help with your survivability as you level and play the game, but they are also very important for when it comes to end game builds, especially if you're wanting to min-max your DPS, because obviously there are potions that it can increase your spell damage and increase your damage output as you go. So again, alchemists, knowing someone that can practice alchemy or being able to do it yourself is going to be a very important skill if you choose to do it. Obviously, if you don't want to craft, well, you won't be watching this video if you don't want to craft. So it's definitely worthwhile doing. There is a heap of, and the good thing about it is you don't necessarily need to have. The good thing that comes to alchemy when you compare it to provisioning is you don't need to have the materials and a recipe. You just need the materials, basically. Does that make sense? So you won't need to go, oh, I can't craft this potion because I don't have the recipe for it. No, you can go through. Alchemy is very much about trial and error. So you can mix and match your different components to learn how to make different potions and discover it yourself that way. So it's very, very rewarding to do, and I definitely recommend doing it. I recommend all of them, honestly, but that's a bit of a snapshot into what alchemy can do for you. So let's go. I want to be certified as an alchemist.
With master chefs, every alchemist must assemble the right components before crafting a special concoction. Are you so capable? We shall see. I require you to locate a solvent and some reagents. Then you shall craft me a potion.
I need to create a potion to be certified?
Yes. Every alchemical mixture requires a solvent, a pure liquid base, and reagents such as herbs and flowers. Now go. Find a solvent and some reagents. Once you have what you need, return to me.
Now, I can go ahead and I can skip and I can go ahead with things, but what I want to do is I want to just talk about where you can find these items, right? So if I come out here and I'm exploring, which we'll do, hopefully it'll work for me. Let's see if it'll work for me. I don't know if it will. I'm hoping it will, but it probably won't. So what you probably discovered as you were exploring through Kanathe's Roost, if you're following along, or if you're doing your own exploring, is you will come across plants, basically. Plants around the ocean that you can then collect in order to grab herbs. So those are called reagents, and those are going to be the components that you use to mix items together in order to craft components. Now, solvents are essentially the liquid or the base of the potion or the poison. There are different types of waters and different types of poisons, I guess you could say. I'm just trying to see if I can find it here. And basically what you will find is those sorts of things can be found in bodies of water. I'm trying to find one here, but I'm not having any luck. But if you look along bodies of water, not only will you find plants, but you will find little crafting nodes that you can then use to collect water. Another way that you can get water is you will find water sacks, essentially little skins that have water, and they kind of look like little sacks, but they're very small, and you can grab water from those as well. So that's I just wanted to let you know about that, before we go ahead, because obviously you can feel a bit lost as to where to find these regents. But have a look around. I'm sure you would have come across a couple of them in your journey. Look, there you go. Look, see, there's Lady Smock. So we can go here. We can collect Lady Smock. Great. We can go back to Denell and we can continue getting certified in our alchemy. Okay, he's not here. Crafting. Where's Denell? Is he in here? Will he be back in here now that I've selected him? No, he's not in here. That's surprising. Wow, okay. Well, basically, you want to find Denell, and you want to let him know that you've got the regents, and then we can continue on with the process. So let's make a quick beeline to the Mages Guild, because that looks like where he'll be. In we go. And there he is. Denell is just over here. Wonderful. No, I don't want to steal. And there's a little bit. We'll talk about stealing as well when we go. We'll go into things at a later date.
Every alchemist must assemble the right components before
We've heard
crafting
this.
a special concoction. Yes.
Okay, I believe I already have those ingredients.
Good. Now go to an alchemy station. Use a solvent and 2 differing reagents to craft a potion. The reagents must possess common traits, or you'll waste all components. You see, alchemy is as simple as pairing like with like.
I'll go craft that potion then. Now, I don't believe there is an alchemy... Oh, there is. Okay, so there is an alchemy station here in the Mages Guild, but I do want to show you where the main one is. So if we go out into Vocal Guard, and basically it's using your map and knowing where things are. So I know for a fact that this little icon here, excuse the little quest icon, but this little icon that looks kind of like a tree is usually where an alchemy station is. It's actually the symbol for the alchemy station. But there's a couple of other things I want to show you in there as well. So let's go over there. It's just over here. You'll also be able to tell if you find a banner. So you can see there's obviously a couple of other different stations in here, but that there is the alchemy crafting station icon. So we can go in here. Now, I know for a fact that it is upstairs. There's an enchanting station. There's a jewelry crafting station. Jewelry crafting is something that we won't touch on in this episode because it requires a DLC. But it is something worthwhile. So first of all, let's craft this potion. So this is the alchemy station. Let's get into it. Alchemy. All right. Select a solvent and 2 different reagents to craft a potion or potions. Press R to craft or press X to clear your selections. Remember, each reagent has 4 traits. You can consume a reagent from your inventory to learn its first trait. Match reagents with similar traits to create potions. So that's an important thing to know. If you want to know what one of your reagents does without mixing and matching them, you can eat one basically, and it will tell you what the first trait is. Okay, so this is, chances are, the potion maker is an add-on, the poison maker is an add-on. Chances are what you'll have is creation and formula. So creation is what you will find, and this is going to show you what you can craft. So I've obviously got a number of different materials, obviously because I've done this already, but let's just go with natural water. So that's going to be able to make a level 3 potion, which is great. Now, if we go to that's our solvent. So now if we go to our reagents, we've got a whole list, and you can tell here there is so many reagents here, it's not funny, okay? So let's just go and select 2, 1, 2, and then basically we can press R to craft. Now, I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting that to happen. But basically, we learnt that basically what we've learnt. So basically, you'll learn what you're doing when you're crafting. When you're practicing alchemy, right? What you're trying to do is you're trying to match a trait of one reagent with another reagent that has the same trait. Does that make sense? And they will make the recipe. Okay? So what we've learnt here is that these two reagents do not have a suitable, do not share the same trait, okay? And that's what's going to be important. So let's go, okay, that's another one. Okay, that's a bad one. Let's go, what? Okay, let's go Blessed Thistle. Columbine. Okay. That's a good way to know as well. As you're going through, if it says inert potion, these are reagents will not react. That's a good indicator that they don't have matching traits, right? So if I go Blessed Thistle and Columbine, it's an unknown potion. We'll learn how to make that potion, okay? So let's go Art of Craft. Okay, and you see there, they both share the Restore Stamina trait. Okay, and we've made a potion of stamina. Now, obviously, with our quest, we need to learn how to create a sip of health. Okay, so we need to know what recipes create a sip of health. These two reagents will create a sip of stamina. Okay, but what we want is a sip of health. Now, I already know this. There are a couple that you can use to mix together to create this. So what you can use is Columbine. I don't think Bug Loss is the one. So let's go down. Let's scroll down with what we have. Mountain Flower? I think it's Mountain Flower. Mountain Flower and Columbine. I believe other things that you can use is Water Hyacinth as well. You can use, there's a couple of them, but let's see. I'm pretty sure this is a health one. There you go. They also, now this is tricky. They also, Mountain Flower also has the restore stamina trait as well as the restore health state. So each regent has 4 traits. Now, what I encourage you to do, I mean, we've done what the quest has asked for us, which is great, awesome. But we actually created a double whammy potion where it not only does it restore health, but it restores stamina as well. And this is what the beauty is with alchemy, is you can mix and match all of these reagents together to create all kinds of different potions. There is, I will say, there is resources online where you can go and you can tell you exactly what reagents do what to create what potion. But I do encourage you to mix and match as you can, because the beauty about mixing and matching and learning all the traits is you will get bonus experience in your alchemy skill line for doing so, okay? It's going to be really important for you to help level up that alchemy crafting skill line. Okay, so that's that done. Now we can go and turn this in, but before I do so, I just wanted to touch base on something here, because I thought it's pretty groovy and you're probably going to want to do it as well. So what you've probably come across is you've gotten some beginner armor by now, but you're not happy with what it looks like, okay? You're probably not happy with what it looks like. Luckily for you, what you can do without equipping different armor is you can find an outfit station like this one here, and you can change the way, not only the way that the armor looks, but you can change the color of the armor as well. And the paintbrush and the bucket are dye tools that allow you to dye the armor. The eraser and the eyedroppers allow you to erase dyes and specific and copy different colors. And then basically, as you progress in the game, you will unlock dyes. And then that way you can customize your outfit, as it were. So, as you can see here, I've actually got quite a few different dyes unlocked. Now, Weapon styles. Now, okay, so what you can do is you can then, if you go and select your outfit one, you get one outfit slot per character. You can, obviously, using crowns, increase how many outfit slots you have. I haven't personally needed to, but it is worth mentioning if you like to swap and change and do things differently. So basically dies, right, are linked to achievements in game. If you earn different achievements in game, you will then earn different dies, right? And there are different achievements that are harder to get that allow you to unlock certain colors, okay? So that's important to keep in mind. It's similar with armor styles. Outfit styles can be learned from motifs you learn, and you can configure and then wear any outfit in the styles that you know. Motifs are found in game or they're purchased from the Crown store, okay? So there are different ways. What you will have as you first create a character and as you're very new to it, you will only know the crafting style of your associated race. So I am a Khajiit, so I know how to craft the Khajiiti armor style. And we'll go about that we'll talk about that in more detail when we come to construction crafting, okay? So what this here does is, if you've learned other crafting styles, you can then apply these styles to your outfit. So say, for example, look here, I've got the Abar's Watch hat. I can equip that, and there we have it. We have that as a new armor style, okay? And again, we can change it to the Archiviri, we can change it to all sorts. There's all sorts of ones that we can choose it to. We can always clear it as well. Undo changes. But I wanted to show that to you as well because it's a little bit, it's kind of crafting, but it's not crafting. But it's a way that you can customize your character further in the game. And I just wanted to touch on that as well. So to summarize, you can dye the armor that you already have, right? You can dye the armor you already have. If you have many motifs and armor styles that you've learned, you can also change the armor style of what you are wearing. Okay, so that's important to keep in mind. Another thing I want to touch out on is costumes. If you've been lucky enough as you're playing in the game, or if you've bought one on the Crown store, you can get appearance changes. And there are all sorts of different appearance changes that you can get, and there's all sorts of different minor and major adornments, personalities, skins, polymorphs. There's all sorts of things that you can do to customize your character even further as well. And then again, when it comes to costumes in particular, you can then dye those costumes as well. So there are all sorts of different ways that you can customize your characters to make them look the way you want. Again, these sorts of things, costumes, some of these things can be collected throughout the game by completing certain tasks, by doing certain quests. You can get them from different containers. There's all sorts of ways to collect these, so keep that in mind as well. So if you bear with me, I'm actually going to set up some armor style for my Khajiit, and now he's going to be a kind of like in the shadows sort of thieves guild type situation. I don't like the way that sits. I don't like it. I don't like the way the ears sit. But I don't think I'm going to be able to do much about it. So let's go for... I don't like that it covers up his face. Soul Shriven? Yeah, let's go with Soul Shriven. Let's go with chest. Let's go for medium. And again, this is because I have so many on my account. It's not funny. So don't fret when you don't have a lot unlocked. You will get them as you go through the game. But it's just that I'm lucky enough to have quite a number available to me. Red Guard. Redorian. Do I have any special ones? I do. There's that. I don't like that. Apocrypha Expedition. There's the Ascendant Knight, which is heavy armor. I'd rather not. Battleground Runner. Crowborn Hunter. Dawn's Avenger. Doctrine Ordinator. Jamura Kyrie. Ooh, that looks cool. Necrom Armiger. That looks cool. See, there's a lot that you can get. There's all sorts that you can get. There's that. Spell Sword. I may go with that. Stonelaw. Windhelm. Oh, I like that. That's actually quite cool. I think I might stick with that. We'll do the dying in just a minute. You're going to have to bear with me. You could spend, honestly, you could really spend hours here doing this. There's so much that you could do. There's literally heaps. I could go with something big and beefy, but I think I'm going to just go to the medium. Okay, here we are. Do I have a Thieves Guild? I do. I have a Thieves Guild one. There we go. Stick with that. I think that'll do. Okay, let's go with hands. Let's see if I have a Thieves Guild one. Do I have a Thieves Guild one? Sword Thane, Telvanni, Trinimac. I don't. Let's go to medium. Let's go down to the bottom to the signature. There's Prisoner Chains we could do. What do we got? Stonelaw, Shroom Tender, Regalia. That looks okay. We could go Dawn Armiger, Necron Armiger, Legion Zero, Legendary Dragon, Knowledge Eater, Keptu Chief. I think I'm going to go with that maybe. Because I think the rest are all quite heavy. And I don't want... That doesn't look too bad. I might... Ooh. I actually like that one. Yeah, let's go with that one, the Crowborn. Waist is a bit different. Waist, obviously, is just the belt, really. You don't see a lot of it. I'm going to go... Where's the Khajiit one? Okay, here we go. Let's go medium. I should do that as well. Khajiit belt. There we go. Go legs. This is the next one. Let's go down here. Let's see. Stonelaw. We could go Regalia. See, that's not too bad. We got Necrom Armiger. Legendary Dragon Guards. Keptu Chief. Defort. Hierarch Spell Sword. Elden Dragon Hunter. We might go with that. I think that looks... Eccentric Experimenter. Dremora. See, down these are all heavy. The Crowborn Hunter isn't too bad as well, actually, so we might go with that. And then feet, which we could get, again, if we go... If I go the Crowborn, I think that's cool. I like that. Now, we can do the weapons as well, so let's do the weapons. I'm just going to have a look and see where my daggers are. There's that. See, now I've got some particularly impressive ones. Worm Cult, Wood Elf Dagger. Truth and Logic. Ooh, that's very cool. Trinimac. Thieves Guild. Sword Thane. Soul Shriven. Let's have a look here. Primal Daggers. There's a lot that I could do. I'm trying to see what particular special ones I have, but it's hard to tell. Ashen Militia, so there's that. Barbaric, Blackreach Vanguard, Cadwell's Dagger, Celestial Dagger, Crimson Oath Dagger, Deadlands Gladiator, Drothmora, that's always really cool. Ebenheart Dagger, Evergloam Champion Dagger, Frostcaster Dagger, Glass Dagger, the Greymore Dagger. See, there's so many. There's the Hollowjacks, always a classic. Moongrave Fane, Orantong, Oaken Order, Old Orsinium, it's a good one. Primals, and again, I think we've seen a lot of these. I'm going to go with the Morantong. Offhand. And we're going looking at offhand. Let's go with the Morantong again. And I mean, you can change these to hammers, to swords, to axes, whatever you want. But I'm going to stick with daggers because I think that looks nice and proper. There's the Morantong. And now we can go to dyes. I'm going to go for something that's quite dark. I don't want to go completely dark. I'm going to go to Motif Master. And let's see what we can do here. So that's that. Now let's think about what our accent color is going to be. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go for like a blue. Blackreach blue. Yeah, I think that looks... No, I think we need a green. I think we need a green to match the eyes. That's a bit too subtle. What about a Hist green? Green is a hard color to do. Royster's Cerulean green. Let's go with that. Let's go. Yeah, let's go with that. I think I'm happy with that. Let's copy the color. Let's go with this. Let's see where that's that. Let's copy that color for the sash. That's the outline. I'm okay with that. Let's copy that brown. Let's go. Now these pauldrons are a bit of a different story. I feel like they should be... Actually, in all honesty, I think that we can clear the pauldrons because they actually look quite good naturally. The Crowborn Hunter. I think we can go the rest like that. And I'm not going to worry about the weapons. I think that works well. Pretty happy with that. So let's go for now. Let's use an outfit. You can choose to do this with either gold or outfit tokens. It depends on what you have. I have a bit of both, so I'm going to go with both. But yeah, there you go. There's another law book. I'm going to grab that. That is how you go about upgrading the way you look, all right? I might go about that and change that in a little bit more detail later on down the track. But there is that option there for you. So keep that in mind. Now, I've just realized that Danelle is actually up here where the alchemy station is. So we can actually show him this right here. So let's show him the health potion that we made.
Blend the solvent's purity with the reagent's traits. Return to me when you've crafted a potion.
The ingredients were a good blend. I have the potion here.
Your potions have a slight fizz to them, but your skill with admixtures is unquestioned. Far better than my former apprentice. You are now authorized to obtain and fulfill alchemy writs. May your elixirs remain potent and your reagents fresh.
Wonderful. And there we go. We have gotten the alchemy consumable crafting skill line completed. Again, when it comes to your skill line, there are passive skills that you're going to want to invest in that are going to allow you to make higher level potions as you go. So if you're doing this as you go, remember to craft as much as you can, and when you have the chance to put a skill line, a skill point into the skill line, do it. There are other different things that you can actually obtain from the skill line that you can choose to make your life easier. For example, there's a skill line in there that allows plants, like crafting reagents in the overworld, to glow when you are nearby them. That makes finding the components a lot easier, and I definitely recommend getting that, especially if you're starting out. You'll be able to unlock different levels of it as you go. So definitely experiment. So like the takeaways with alchemy is experiment with your reagents and farm, because you're gonna need a lot of reagents in order to craft the different materials. So definitely experiment and farm as much as you can. Let's go on and do the next one, which is enchanting.
Enchanters harness the possibility of runes, transforming them into the certainty of glyphs. I'll teach you, but I can only focus on one certification at a time. Is this agreeable?
I want to be certified as an enchanter.
Potency, essence, and aspect. All beneath the stars bear these component concepts. When combined, they form glyphs, which add enchantments to items. First, you'll find these component runes. Then I will have you create a glyph.
Okay, so that is the gist of enchanting. There's going to be 3 different types of runes that you can get in the overworld, and what you do is you combine one of each to create a glyph, and combining them in different combinations, because there's obviously different types of potency runes, different types of essence runes, different types of aspect runes, and they will create a glyph. We'll talk about what each one is shortly, but what you do is there are enchanting locations. They're runes. They're like a little triangle that are in the overworld. Those are the things that you're going to want to farm in order to use for enchanting. So what I'll do is I'll go through that. I've already got the materials, because I'm assuming that they're going to ask me for the more materials to find the materials before we can continue our certification. But all you need to know is the runes are out there. You don't have to find what the good thing about it is when you come to one of these crafting locations, you won't just get one rune. Chances are you'll get a potency and an essence rune, or you'll get an essence and an aspect rune, or you'll get a potency and an aspect rune. You'll get a combination of the 3. So it will make you won't have to worry about finding one crafting node to get one rune, and then find 3 different nodes to be able to craft one rune. It doesn't work like that. You just pick one up and you'll get a combination of whatever, and you get all sorts of different combinations, and then we'll talk about putting them all together to create glyphs in a second. So I need to create a glyph to be certified?
Absolutely, for such is the essence of enchanting. Runes of potency, essence, and aspect are the fundamental components of glyphs. Collect one of each variety before you return.
I already have some runes you're talking about.
We begin at the enchanting table. There you will combine a rune of potency, essence, and aspect. This simple puzzle forms a glyph. Now go, piece them together.
I'll go craft that rune then. Okay, so now if you're following along and you're following with us in Vocal Guard, then you can come here and you can come to the enchanting table, which is downstairs, and we'll go through a little bit about enchanting. Okay, so there is one of each type. There's one room of each type. There's a potency rune. There's a type of potency rune. There is an essence type rune. There's an aspect type rune, and you need one of each to create an enchantment. All right. So once you have all the slots filled and you press R to craft, you can then create your rune, your glyph. You can press X to clear them at any time. So crafting unknown runes allows you to learn their effects. Now, much like alchemy, this is all about experimentation. You're going to want to combine combinations of these 3 different types of runes in order to create your glyph. What I do want to go over, though, is the different types. Potency. Potency runes are going to give you, obviously, they're going to denote whether you are adding value or you're subtracting value with the enchantment. Those are the 2 different types. Now, on top of that, there are also different levels for potency runes. There is a subtract and an add for levels, let's say 1 to 5 or 1 to 10, for example. There is then 10 to 20, 30 to 40, so on and so forth. So there's all sorts of different potency runes, and you're going to be restricted in what you can do based on what skills you have locked in your skill line for enchanting. Okay? So that's potency runes. They're going to either add or they're going to subtract value on the enchantment. Okay? Essence runes. These are what give the what of the rune and what they do. Okay? Actually, I might have missed that wrong. Let's see let me just double check that for a second. I just want to make sure I've gotten that right. I don't want to give you guys a bum steer when it comes to runes. I just want to make sure that I'm getting it right. I should have actually gone over this beforehand. So yeah, so potency runes determine what level of items the glyph may be applied to. So yeah, so what this means is, right, is these potency runes, they determine whether you can use this enchantment on an item level 10 or an item level 20 or so on and so forth, right? So that's going to give you guys an idea of what you need to use in order to do it, and you're not going to know what the rune does until you use it, okay? So that's why it's important to combine all of these different elements in different ways to learn what each rune does, okay? So generally you're going to have additional runes or subtracting ones. Now that that's cleared up, essence runes. Essence runes determine what the glyph, what the enchantment actually does, right? So as you can see here, there's all sorts of different runes that you can come across, and there's going to be all sorts of ones that you collect. They're going to do all sorts of different things. Okay, again, this is so some of them can do. Some of them are frost runes, some of them are lightning runes, some of them are fire runes, some of them are weapon damage runes, some of them are armor runes. There's all sorts of different types of runes, okay? So that's gonna determine what type of rune you're making, okay? The last one, the aspect rune, that's gonna determine the quality of the enchantment. So when we talked about last episode, when we talked about green, blue, purple, gold, different levels of items that you can come across in the overworld, these are going to determine the quality of the enchantment that you make. So obviously, if you're endgame and you want to have the best enchantment possible, you're probably going to want to use a Kuta rune that you can see there as the rune to go forward. Obviously, you're not officially going to know what the rune does, and you're going to be restricted depending on your skill level and how many skill points you've invested into your enchanting skill line to use them. But an idea by the color of their name, you're going to determine what quality you're making. Okay, so what I'm going to do is so now that we know all these sorts of things, we're going to select the different rooms to create them. So what we'll do is I'll tell you which ones they are, because I know which ones they are in order to create these, to create the Trifling Grift of Health. So I hope that helps. And then basically we're going to go forward, we're going to craft the rune and move on. So we know that we want to craft a Trifling Grift of Health. So we're wanting to either add or develop health. Okay, so what we're going to want to do is we're going to go over to our potency rune, and what chances are what you're going to want to look for is one that's called Jorah. There's Jode, Jorah, Natade, or Parade. Generally what you can note is if it has DE in it, it's going to be as a subtractive rune compared to, say, like an A1 that's additional. So we're going to go with Jorah, okay? We're going to select Jorah. We've only got 3. That's a bit of a concern. We're going to want an essence rune. So we're going to want the health essence rune. The health essence rune is... I had it here just before, is Oko. So let's scroll down. Oko. Oko is going to be your health rune. That's going to determine what it does. And then what we're going to do here is we don't need to do anything crazy. We're just going to use Ta, which is your basic common level glyph. And then that way we've got it all selected. It's going to create an unknown glyph. We can press R to craft, and off we go. And there we go. We created a crafting Trifling Glyph of Health. And what we've done is we've translated those runes, and now we know what they do. Okay? So now you know that if you come back here, you know that Jorah is going to do develop. So if you want to do more developing or adding enchantments, that's going to what you're going to want to use. Okay, so we've done what we've done. We've done what we've needed to. So now we can speak to Danelle and we can get ourselves certified in enchanting. So let's go over to him. Let's have a chat.
Craft a glyph using a rune of potency, essence, and aspect. Return when you have forged intent into form.
Form accomplished. I have the glyph right here.
You should attach it to an item so you can see the enchantment's effects. You are now certified to fulfill enchanting rites. May you unravel the secrets of Nirn.
And there we go.
You show promise in every discipline I certify. Perhaps you seek to challenge my position as thrice accredited master craftsman. If so, Millenith offers blacksmith, clothier, and woodworking certification. I last saw her at the local Fighters Guild.
Okay. All right. Now, there's one thing that I have just missed out on. Now, when it comes to your consumable crafting disciplines, this enchanting is different, where you can then have another tab here called extraction. Now, extraction is where you extract from these glyphs to get resources. All right. So now, as you're going through the world and you're taking on enemies and you're taking on bosses, they're going to drop enchantments. And what you can do is you can extract these enchantments, not only to get some experience, in your skill line, but also a chance to get components of the said glyph, okay? So I've selected the glyph, and I press R to extract, and I got Ta back. And I also got a little bit of experience as well. So when it comes, obviously alchemy and provisioning are different. You can't extract from those, but you can from enchantments. And what it's worth doing, it's probably not going to be viable for you to craft all these different runes and then extract them all, because you're not necessarily, it's only a chance to get some of those items back. Okay? So what I do, what I'm going out and I'm going through the world and I'm doing whatever I need to. When I come into a town, I will come to an enchanting station, and I will, if I've collected a whole pile of enchantments, I will then extract them all for an additional chance to get some more items. The experience, not as good as it could be. The higher level of the enchantment that you extract, the more XP you're going to get. But it's pretty minimal compared to crafting them, okay? So keep that in mind. I do it as a way of getting back more materials, additional materials from items, but you can just as easily sell them as well and get money that way. So there's that to keep in mind. All right, so now that we've done that, that is all of our consumable crafting writs done and certified. And what you will notice, we talked about the different types of quests in the last episode when it came to questing and exploration, is that you will find notice boards in cities with consumable crafting writs, right? And now you can go along, you can select them, and you can then perform these daily crafting writs. It'll ask you to craft different items in the specific discipline. So then all you need to worry about is having the materials and the know-how to do it, which you should do now. And you can craft these daily. It's a good way to keep on top of your crafting to do these daily. You can do them once a day, and the daily reset is at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time if you're here in Australia. So I definitely encourage you to do these daily if you can. And obviously you want to farm as you're going throughout your journey in the game. And again, this is if you're crafting. If you're not crafting, you don't need to worry about any of this sort of stuff. Or if you want to, say you want to craft but you don't want to farm, there's that option as well. Say you want to farm but you don't want to craft, you can do that as well. Because the thing about it is there's always going to be someone that's wanting to buy food. There's always going to be someone that's going to want to buy potions. There's someone that's always going to want to buy enchantments. Having said that, there's always going to be crafters that are going to want to buy reagents. There's always going to be crafters that are going to want to buy solvents. There's going to be crafters that are going to want to buy ingredients for food. And runes. So you can go either way. You don't necessarily have to do both, but I definitely encourage it, especially early on, because as you quest and as you go through the world, you're going to pick up these items as you go, and you're going to be able to craft that way. That's how I do it. Don't have to do it that way. If you are loaded with money, if you've been doing a whole pile of dungeons and questing, and you've got a lot of money and you're feeling flush, you can go out to to a guild trader, and you can buy the items you need to craft and complete your writs. You can do it that way. It's a more pricey way, but you can definitely do it that way. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll finish up there, guys, simply because that's a lot of information to take in, and I don't want to bombard you with too much information when it comes to crafting. That completes the consumable crafting. What we will do is in the next episode, we'll then touch base on the material crafting and on the equipment crafting, which is going to be pretty straightforward. What did you think, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that gave you guys a bit of a rundown on getting started with your crafting and how to go about it. If you want to jump ahead, then you can go and speak to Malaya in the Fighters Guild, and you can continue on with your equipment crafting. And you can just follow the quest lines. They'll give you a bit of an idea of what you need to do, and you can move on that way. But we'll touch base on that again in the following video, and yeah, we'll go from there. Guys, what did you think? Were you happy with it? Did you learn everything you needed to know about crafting? Let me know in the comments section below. If you guys have been watching this video so far on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. But if not, if you're not already doing so, hit that subscribe button, hit that follow button, and you'll get notifications of when I put videos out next. We'll be putting out another video very soon, but until then, take care guys. Bye for now.